Morning. Welcome to our weekly vlog on Unsung Heroes of the Bible. My cup for today is the nation of Nepal. I had the opportunity, along with a group of other men, to go to, over several years, to a place in southern Nepal and to work with our brothers and sisters there, sharing the gospel in a very difficult place. So I pray for them today. You join me in that. Well, our unsung hero for today, last week, if you listened to the vlog from last week, we talked about Deborah, the judge, and we mentioned a guy named Barak. And today, I want to talk about him as an unsung hero. You might think he's not when you think back to the story, but I believe he is an unsung hero. Have you ever felt the weight of calling and hesitated because you felt like you were sort of all alone in what God was asking you to do? Well, in the book of Judges, Barak is one of those. He was a warrior, and his courage was real, but he needed some confirmation. He needed some encouragement. He needed a partnership in doing God's mission. As Southern Baptists, we talk a lot about a partnership, a cooperation in sharing the gospel around the world. Judges 4:8 says, Barak said to her, and speaking of Deborah, he said to her, "If you go with me, I will go. But if you don't go with me, I won't go." I think we can all relate to the fact that we need some partnership. We need somebody by our side. At first glance, it may look like that Barak lacked boldness, but if you look deeper, he has a sense of humility. He needed God on his side, and Deborah was considered to be a prophet who spoke for God. So what makes him an unsung hero here? Well, he listened to the prophet of God. If you remember from last week, Deborah prophesied that they would have the victory. And so when Deborah commanded him to lead in the battle, Barak didn't ignore her. He honored what she said and what God said, and he trusted her. He recognized some spiritual authority there, and he needed that in order to accomplish what God was asking him to do. He needed more than just swords and soldiers. He needed God's presence as well. And Deborah, as a prophet, represented that to him. And so he said, if you go, I'll go too. And he obeyed what Deborah said. Despite the odds, Barak assembled 10,000 men, went to Mount Tabor, as God had directed him to. He led with faith. And Judges 4:14 says, Then Deborah said to Barak, Go, this is the day the Lord has given Sisera into your hands. And Barak went boldly when he heard from the Lord. So there's some lessons from this unsung hero of Barak. It's okay to ask for help. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not a sense of cowardice. It's just stating something that we need oftentimes in our lives. Barak didn't let pride get in his way of obeying God's call. Courage grows in community. Barak's faith was strengthened by Deborah's presence and her encouragement on him. Obedience matters more than ego. And so even though a woman got the final glory in the victory, and we'll talk about her next week, a woman named Jael, Barak was still praised. In fact, he's listed in Hebrews chapter 11 in what we call the Hall of Faith, or the Heroes of the Faith. Hebrews 11:32 lists Barak. You know, there's some personal takeaways that we can learn from this unsung hero, Barak. You don't have to be the loudest or most confident to be faithful. Yeah, you just have to move when God says go. God spoke through Deborah and said go, and he went. Sometimes strength means partnering with other people, not just doing it on your own. especially those who hear clearly from God. You need them on your side. You need that kind of spiritual help in your life. God honors obedience more than he does image. Barak's humility didn't disqualify him. It actually made him usable, made him more apt to hear what God was saying. He wasn't flashy in any way, shape, or form, but he wasn't the strongest voice in the story when you read it there in Judges. But when the time came, he showed up. He stood up. He followed God into battle. And when all's said and done, will we do that? That makes him an unsung hero, a model of quiet strength in action. If you're waiting for the perfect moment or perfect confidence, remember this. Sometimes all God asks is you say, I'll go when you say go. God bless you. Have a good week.